you to take your seats as the band is raring and ready to go, and those in Facebook land and YouTube are itching to get ready to go. So Anthony, at your leisure, just take us away.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome everybody to Unity of Calgary. My name is Anthony. Thanks for coming out, as they say in the military. Can you hear my guitar? I hear it here, but I don't hear it. Can you hear the guitar out there? Okay, good. All right, well, let's start off with a song called Something Wonderful Is Happening Here, because it is. I have come here seeking freedom. I have come here seeking peace. I have come here to go deeper into the truest part of me. And it's here in this place, I can see it on each face. Oh yes, here where we are, I can feel it in my heart. Oh yes, something wonderful is happening here today. Something wonderful is happening here in me. Oh, it's real, yes, it's true. It's my spirit shining through. Oh, yes, something wonderful is happening here today. La da da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I have come here to remember who I truly am inside. I've come here to release it. I no longer have to hide. Oh yes, here I can let go. I can let my feelings show. Oh yes, here in this place I can show my spirit's face. Oh yes, something wonderful is happening here today. Something wonderful is happening here in me. Oh, it's real, yes it's true. It's my spirit shining through. Oh yes, something wonderful is happening here today. And the life I once knew, all the things I have been through, now I see, yes it's clear, every step has led me here. And it's here in this room that I'll find my deepest truth. Oh yes, here I just know that I'll find my spirit's home. Oh yes, something wonderful is happening here today. Something wonderful is happening here in me. Oh, it's real, yes it's true. It's my spirit shining through. Oh yes, something wonderful is happening here today. Oh yes, something wonderful is happening here today. And it's happening here in me. Bob, I can't hear my guitar in here. Can you tweak that? All right, everybody, you're welcome to stand up and, actually, wait a second. No, don't stand up. This is actually, can we flip them around? Can we do the other one first? Okay, all right, let's take a vote. Okay. Do you want to start with an upbeat song and end with a mellow song? Or do you want to start with a mellow song and end with an upbeat song? Upbeat first? Okay, so let's do the next one then, yeah. So yes, you can get up and I open up and receive. I open up and receive. I open up and receive all the love that life can give. I open up and receive. I open up and receive. I open up and receive all the wealth that life can give. I open up and receive. I open up and receive. I open up and receive all the health that life can give. I open up and receive. I open up and receive. I open up and receive all the peace that life can give. I open up and receive. I open up and receive. I open up and receive all the love that life can give. I open up and receive. I open up and receive. I open up and receive all the love that life can give. All the love that life can give. All the love that life can give. All right. Now you can have a seat and you can mellow out and get in touch with your inner, I was going to say your inner child, but it could be a child or might be a monkey. I don't know what you have on the inside. All right, let me make sure that I'm in the right key here. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle, and how deeply you're connected to my soul? You can sing along to this. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. And I need your help on the next one. This is just the voices. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. You don't let it go now, you won't let it go. Anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? And how deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone ever tell you that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Ah, woohoo! Well, thank you to the Unity Band. You can see by the looks on the faces and the opened hearts in this room, and I'm imagining out in Facebook land and YouTube land, that you have done what you do so well, and you touch our hearts. Thank you. My name is Alara Payton. I'm delighted to be your service coordinator for today. I am part of the prayer chaplain ministry here at Unity. And welcome to any faces that we haven't seen here before in person or online. We're so delighted that you are joining us today, bringing your unique energy signature to be a part of our container here today. And we know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are always welcome here, and we hope that you know that as well. Let's take a moment and begin with an affirmative prayer. And whether you choose to keep your eyes open or to close your eyes, we take this time to center in the knowing that there is one power and one presence that we call by many names on this planet. And we are expressions of this one power and one presence. Therefore, our true identity is of this divine nature of all things. And we are here today now, centered, right here, wherever here is. And you might notice these words as the words of your own heart. I am open and available to receive all of the blessings of this Sunday gathering at Unity of Calgary Spiritual Community. I listen and receive with an open mind and open heart as we explore the theme of love. With my breath, with my heartbeat, I am reminded that I am so very supported by life. For I am breathed and my heart is beaten as I focus on what is to be discovered today. I know this to be so. I declare it to be so, and so it is. And so we have our statement of being, which you will notice is going to have more love in there. So let's affirm together why we gather at Unity of Calgary Spiritual Community. We are here as love to celebrate the one power, the one presence in our lives, in this community, and in the universe. And I invite you to feel that and know that for yourself, in your bones, you might say. And now we have our daily word, and John Burgess is going to read our daily word for us. This is a publication, daily word booklet, that has been published for over 100 years. So let's see what the daily word and the reading has for us today.
There we go. I'm a little taller than you, but not much. Not a real, thank you, Alara. That was, yes, and I'll take this off. Trying to be as compliant as we can, as everybody is these days. So, I will pray with the Spirit, but I will pray with the mind also. I will sing with the Spirit. I will sing praise also with the mind. 1 Corinthians 14:15. Our word center for today is pray for others. With mind and heart, I know the truth. For each person I hold in prayer. A friend, someone said once, knows the truth for you until you can know it for yourself. Praying for friends, family members, and those I have met, I said to my awareness in the truth that each one for whom I pray is the actual living expression of God, just as I am. Letting go of fear, I release the thoughts of lack, illness, disharmony, or any limitation. I see each person for whom I pray abundantly blessed. I see each one warmed and comforted by divine love that lifts our hearts and brings harmony to their relationships. I affirm their abundant living and guided by divine love, wisdom, and understanding. I affirm their abundant living and guided by all of these things. I see each life unfolding in perfect divine order, enjoying security, health, and joy. Thank you and have a blessed Sunday.
All right. And Unity of Calgary is part of a worldwide movement. There are over 900 centers that bring forth this message around the world. And we've adopted the worldwide vision. So I invite you to affirm with me, and if you've said this 100 times like I have, I invite you to receive it and to speak it with beginner's mind. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And the mission, as determined by our community, that guides the leadership and the goings on here, please affirm with me, with beginner's mind, our mission. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community that inspires hearts and transforms lives by expressing our divine essence. So thank you to everyone who is listening to this today and those that will listen in the future, and know that you are a part of the container as well. And here we've got a few upcoming events happening. Of course, we are here next week. And we have Monica Kramer. Some of you know Reverend Monica Kramer from other New Thought centers around Calgary, and she's going to be speaking, When the Heart Breaks, Love Shines Through. When we can't control what's happening, how about we control the way we respond to what's happening? That's where our power is. Anyone else feel like they've had a few cracks in their hearts to let the light shine through lately? All right. And for those of you who want to have a deeper experience of Unity teachings, they are having an intensive week online starting tomorrow. So if you've got a calendar that suddenly got cleared and you would like to experience, they're going to be studying Unity prayer, Jesus' teachings, Bible interpretation, and discerning your purpose. These courses are all for credit for the SEE, that's the Spiritual Enrichment and Enlightenment program down there. They used to always have it in person at Missouri, but now, of course, they're bringing it to around the world. I've been to many of those. If you have any questions about the SEE, I'd be happy to answer any questions. And all of the information is on our website and links in our newsletter as well. And then we have the coffee chat coming up that I am hosting. And we're going to share about our theme. We'll be getting towards the end of the month, this Thursday, the 22nd. I mean, not quite there, but we've been talking about this theme of love all month. So I invite you to come on and let's share. How has this theme been working in your life? And I do encourage those that are attending in person, if you would like to meet with those who are not meeting in person, and those that aren't meeting in person, if you'd like to meet, I invite you to come. Sometimes I only have one or two people on these chats, and we get to have a really good heart-to-heart chat. But I have to say, I'd love to hear more of what's going on with everybody and around this theme of love. So please do join us on Thursday. All the information is in the newsletter and on our website. And Unity of Calgary, as with all not-for-profit organizations, is required to have an annual general meeting. And so that is coming up on May 16th. We'd love to, and that's on Zoom. It'll be virtual, so we'd love to have your input. And of course, if you are a voting member, the board and the spiritual leadership would really like your input because there will be some things that are being voted on. You don't have to be a voting member to attend. If you are a person that supports what Unity of Calgary is doing in the world, please do come and join us. And you will find us online in the Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and there's a community, Unity of Calgary community page on Facebook, by the way. If you are not on that and you would like to have conversations on Facebook, please do join that page. And of course, our weekly newsletter has all of the information of upcoming events and all of the links. So it's a great way to stay in touch with what's going on here. Now, I know the song that's coming up, and it is a beautiful song. So I invite you to open your hearts and your minds as you receive this song, Gift from the Unity Band.
This is one of these songs I wish I had written, but I didn't. It's written by this guy named Eddie Watkins Jr., and boy, he writes some good songs, I'll tell you. One second here. More tissues? I don't know. This is called The Garden. Now, I asked them to close the blinds so that we could imagine that it's spring outside. Like, I choose the songs weeks in advance. I was sure that, this is spring, right? That this weekend would be a good weekend to do this song. I don't think we got to do it last year because I think we were closed. And I usually do this song in the springtime because it's called The Garden. And so I'm going to take full accountability for this because on Friday I got my tires changed over. And I wasn't making the connection between the song I chose, the changing of the tires, so it's my fault. But you still have to imagine the garden.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, beautiful garden, that garden is you. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. Oh, there is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you. Such a beautiful garden, that garden is you.
Well, here at Unity, Charles Fillmore, Myrtle Fillmore, and Cora Fillmore, the founders, they talk about our powers, our 12 powers, and one of those powers is imagination. So look at the imagination that was happening in this room. It'd be really interesting to see what kind of a flower. If you went, would I be a flower? Would I be a tree? Would I be the bird bath with the bubbling water? So if anyone wants to share that with me, I'd be interested to know. As I'm standing here and watching all these elements in the garden right here and imagining them out in the world. This week our speaker is our own Bob Elwood, who is part of the spiritual leadership team. He's been with us for quite some years, and he has been, for 25 years, he said, searching for the truth of me. And we're to that path with us, and we get to share it with you. And so the little blurb is, to love others is as natural as breathing to a child. If you spend any time with young children, you can easily see that they also love themselves just as naturally. Why then is it so hard for me to love myself? Well, let's find out what Bob Elwood has to say on that topic. Please help me welcome Bob Elwood.
Good morning, everyone. How are you feeling this morning? Woo! Oh, yes, that works for me. The title of my talk today is The Many Blessings of Self-Love. The month of April, the theme here at Unity this year is love. And we often think of love as loving others. But I want to ask you, how often do you think about loving yourself? A lot? Often? Not so often? Never? Occasionally. Well, for many years, I never gave it a single thought because I saw myself as unlovable. And so why bother? And so I spent a lot of time being distracting myself from who I thought I was, which was this unlovable person. As I said in that little blurb, children, if you hang around children for any length of time, you realize that they have no problem loving themselves, right? And they absolutely have no problem giving that love away, freely, naturally, effortlessly. I love you, Mommy. I love you, Daddy. I love you, Puppy. I love you, Doll. And when someone offers them love, their arms open up and they receive it. They crawl into Mommy's arms and in 5 minutes they're fast asleep, happy, joyful. So I remember that aspect of myself. I remember myself as a young child and how loving I was and how loved I felt. So what happened? Somewhere between age of 5 and 15, I came up with this belief that I wasn't good enough, that there must be something wrong with me. I read a study once where they said a child hears no 30 times for every one yes. Wow. 30 no's for every one yes. And I don't know if you're aware, but a child's brain is different than an adult's. When we're children, up until the age of 2, we are in delta. That's a deep sleep state. Up until the age of 2, that's why babies can just out in 2 seconds. 1 minute they're alive and they're looking around, and next minute they're fast asleep. Because they really are asleep, even when they're awake. And then from the age of 2 to 7, they're in a low alpha state, which is a hypnotic state. And what that means is everything they take in, every message, every look, every experience is directly downloaded into the subconscious mind. And if a child is hearing no 30 times for every yes, then they're getting programmed to think negatively more than they think positively. And not only that, but we have cultural conditioning. We're not allowed as children, well, maybe you're different. Maybe in your family you were allowed to speak well of yourself. Oh, I am so good. Oh, I got my test. I passed. Oh, I am so smart. Bob, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get too big for our britches. It was not a good thing to say good things about myself. My mom told me directly that, Bob, it's not good to talk highly of yourself. I was 5 years old. Come on. Wow. But it's not her fault. How many of you grew up that way? That it wasn't okay to say good things about yourself when you were a child? Almost everybody in the room has put up their hand. What about you out there in Zoomland or YouTube? I'll bet you most of you grew up with that same experience. It was a cultural conditioning that we grew up with. Don't brag. Don't brag about yourself. That's bad. Wow. No wonder I came up with these programs that said that I wasn't good enough. But on top of that, as a child, a male child, mind you, in the early 60s, I didn't know it at the time, but how many of you heard of HSPs, highly sensitive people? Oh, almost half the room has heard about it. Laura just said, I am one. I only found out about it a couple years ago myself, and I am one. I am a highly sensitive person. So what does that mean? I read a book on it. Of course, when I find something new that interests me, first thing I do is I go, well, what kind of books are they on it? And I start reading up on it because I want to know more. And I found out that 20% of our population today have highly sensitive people. They have highly sensitive nervous systems, which means we react to the world more strongly than other people. A sort of a negative statement given to, oh, don't be so stupid. For most people, doesn't mean much to them. They might take on a little bit of it, but for me to hear that as a child, it went right into me, and it felt like a stab in the heart. And so being a sensitive person, and the fifth of 6 children, what they used to tease me and call me was suck finger wetsy Susie. Suck finger wetsy Susie. That's what my family called me when they really wanted to hurt me, which we all did when we were kids. When we were upset or angry, you want to get back. And so don't be such a sucky, because I sucked my finger, I wet the bed, and I cried at stupid little things. And to Dad, boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. Don't be such a sissy. Suck it up. That's what I heard as a child. And for a highly sensitive person like myself, that cut to the core. But it wasn't the words, it was the tone. And less, or more, I should say. One time, we were amongst the family, and somebody had said something, and I just started to cry. And I looked up at my dad, and he had this look of disgust on his face. Because it wasn't anything that hasn't been said to everybody else in the family. They didn't take it too hard. But I just started crying right away, and I saw that look of disgust on his face, and I was crushed. And from that moment on, I was flawed. I was broken. There's got to be something wrong with me. How come nobody else seems to be reacting this way? How come nobody else seems to get hurt when things happen in their lives? I remember my older brother and her sister, there was a big dance, and they wanted to go to this dance. Oh, they wanted to go so bad, but we were pretty tight with money when we were kids. We were just barely scraping by. So there wasn't a lot of extra money to go to dances and stuff. So my brother Dale and my sister Shelley, they were looking for money. And the previous Christmas, Grandma had sent these cards with all the centennial coins in them. I loved that card. For some reason, I don't know why, I loved money. I loved money. Even when I was a kid. And I'd open it up, and I'd look at all these shiny coins, and oh, I love it. And Dale, Bob, lend me this money, and I'll get it back to you. And I did not want to do it. It took him a long time to talk me into it, but I did. And that was the last I ever saw of it. That hurt me. I felt hurt and betrayed, but I didn't understand what it was. I could just feel the feelings of it. And so I spent a lot of my life growing up not loving myself, not seeing myself as a good person, that I was flawed. There was a conference here in 2016, the Cross Canada Unity Conference was held here in 2016. And in one of the workshops, we were asked to write down some negative programming that we might have taken on as children. And out of the blue, I just picked up my pen and I started writing. And it just flowed out. I didn't even think about it. I just started writing. And the three statements that I came up with were, what I have to say isn't important. I have no influence on other people. And I can't get what I want. I will never get what I want. I just don't have what it takes. Wow. Now, I'm 63 years old, and I am learning to love myself. Wow. I am learning to love myself for the first time. For no good reason. Just because I can. I discovered that love isn't something you go out and earn. It's not something you get when you do the right things. It's a choice. Happiness is a choice. I don't have to wait to get the car or the house or the perfect mate to be happy. I can choose to be happy right here, right now, for no good reason. I can choose to love myself right here, right now, for no good reason. And it's okay. And I'm saying that for you as well. Because what I also learned is that as long as I was unable to love myself, I was unable to receive love from others. I was unable to let it in. I am surrounded by a beautiful family with lots of nieces and nephews and now grandnieces and nephews, and there's so much love in our family. And it's only been in the last few years that I've actually been able to let that love in, to fully receive it, to feel worthy of it. Now, all these negative messages that we got as children were programs that got downloaded directly into our subconscious. Now, being subconscious means to be below consciousness, which means I'm not aware of them. I'm not consciously aware of these programs, and they run my life. Joe Dispenza is an author and workshop facilitator who's done a lot of work around these things. And he says by the time you're 32 years old, 95% of all your actions are based on subconscious programs. I remember decades ago reading Deepak Chopra saying that 95% of the thoughts you had today are the same thoughts you had yesterday. Why is that? Subconscious programs. We're loaded with them. I was reading a book by Bruce Lipton, and he says, yes, there's all these subconscious programs, and 70% of them are negative. 70% of our subconscious programs, on average, are limiting, are negative, self-sabotaging. No wonder I couldn't get ahead. No wonder I didn't even try most of the time, because I had this belief that I'm not going to get it anyway. I just don't have what it takes, so why even bother? But you know, I didn't give up. And I see all of you here not giving up. And I know that you all have these same programs. And yet here you are, still willing to take that next step, still willing to discover more about the truth of who you are. Wow, that's amazing. Overcoming a lifetime of negative programming and not being beaten by it. And yes, we have bad days. We all have bad days. And yet we're still here. Which means, really, We are all superheroes. Dun, da, da, da. We are. You are. Think about it. Think about it. You've got all these programs and you don't even know what they are, and yet you still have the courage and the strength and the perseverance to take that next step, to discover something new. And with each step, you do learn. And hopefully, what you're learning is that you are good. You've always been good. You are inherently good. And I want to give you an experience of that. So I want you all to sit up. Allow your minds to go quiet. And to go back in your memory. Back to when you were a child. To a time when you would wake up in the morning and just be joyously happy. Remember a time like that in your childhood. Maybe you were playing with your pet, playing with your sisters or brothers, hearing your parents tell you they love you, and you being able to take it in, to receive it and feel that in your bones that you were loved and that life was good. I want you to think about how you reacted in the world and how you responded to the world around you. Can you remember as a young child how easy it was for you to say, I love you? For you to give someone a hug? Or something? Or a pet? It was easy. It was natural. Can you see that that innocent child was good? That was you. And it's never left you. That innocent child is with you still. And so I want you to imagine that innocent child, your own inner child, crawling up in your lap right now as an adult, as you are right here, right now. Love that child. See how easy it is to love that little girl. Why? Because she is lovable. He is lovable. Which means you are lovable. You always have been and you always will be. So I want you to keep that inner child with you as you come back into the room. Open your eyes. That inner child is calling out to you every moment of every day to be loved, to be loving, to be recognized, to be seen and heard. My inner child got punted to the back, down into the basement when I was still pretty young. It wasn't okay for me to be open-hearted and loving, and so I just stopped. I went into my head, and I lived in my thoughts for the next 4 decades. I stopped being open to love. I stopped walking through the world with an open heart. But I'm learning now that it's okay to love myself. I love me. I am a good person. Did anybody feel any tension or maybe a little discomfort when they heard me say that? I know in the past I have. I felt it. I didn't feel that I was worthy, that I deserved those kinds of statements. And there's so many blessings when you love yourself. One of them is that it becomes way easier to love others. When you love yourself, you are full. And from that fullness, it is so easy to give. When I did not love myself, I felt empty. And I couldn't give. No, I needed it for myself, and I was always reaching out, love me, love me. And so I became a people pleaser, trying to get that love from other people. We don't need love from other people. But the funny thing is, when we give it to ourselves and love ourselves, we start getting it from other people. Yeah? Yeah, lots of heads are nodding here. They're going, yeah, that's right. The more I love myself, the more other people are willing to share their love with me. Wow. If I'm not loving myself and thinking I'm a terrible person, I try to be something I'm not. I try to hide that and pray that no one sees the truth, that I'm really broken, that I'm not lovable. And it's hard to love something that's not real. And so I never felt like I was getting any love, even though it was all around me all the time. Wow. When you love yourself, I don't know about you, but as I'm loving myself, I'm feeling my body let go and relax more. I'm okay sitting in silence now. I'm okay hanging out with the company I keep when I'm alone. I never used to be. I could never be alone. I hated the company I kept because I was someone that didn't love myself, that didn't think I was good enough. So I didn't want to be by myself because I would just be in my own thoughts, and those thoughts didn't feel good. But now I can be alone and be totally blissfully happy for no good reason. And so can you. So can all of you. When you love yourself, you're okay taking risks. You're okay stepping into a new job or a new career. You're okay learning new things. You're okay because you've got that love there to support you. When life gives you lemons, you're okay because that love is there, helping you, supporting you. There's so many blessings to self-love. And in fact, by loving yourself, you're loving the world. It is not a selfish act. In fact, it's the most selfless thing you can do. Because when you truly love yourself, only then will you be able to be fully present to other people. And the fact is, when you're fully loving yourself, you don't need to be thinking about yourself all the time. You're not needy, trying to get love from everybody else, every situation, from the car, from the house. You find you don't need the car or the house so much. You may not even need a good relationship, healthy, loving relationship. You might. And if you do search for that and you do love yourself, what you're going to find is a partner who loves themselves, because no one else, if they don't, they would be scared and they wouldn't want to be with you. So love yourself. Love yourself every day. Look in the mirror in the morning when you get up and say, I love me. I do that every morning. I've got this, what I call the circle of Bobs. It's all the parts of me that I used to judge. And I've made friends with all of them. And they're all different ages. You know, the little boy that sucked his thumb. The little boy that wet the bed. The little boy that cried. The little boy that was always running away from conflict, from challenges. The little boy that was always afraid. And I've gathered them around and I tell them every day, I love you. I love you. And I'm so glad you're with me. And we're going to go through the rest of this life together. And so when I close my eyes and sit in that, I feel comforted. And so do they. They're like real people. I've got this whole group of Bobs that are all kind of different, but all they really are is just different aspects of me. And that's what I want to do right now as we go into meditation, is I want to encourage all of you to gather up your circle of yous, all the parts of you that you've judged or seen as lacking or not good enough or wish were different. And I want you to love them. So I want you to close your eyes and just start going back in time. And allow the first memory of something you did that you didn't like or that you judged harshly. And I want you to see that you, knowing that you did the very best it could at that point in time. And I want you to say, it's okay. I love you. And I want you to go back, further back in time. See if there's any other parts of you that you don't like or don't think are good enough. And I want you to just take a moment, sit with that part of you, as if you were there, right there in that moment, and say, it's okay. It's okay. I love you. I'm not going to leave you anymore. And then I want you to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for judging you so harshly. It wasn't fair. I'm not going to judge you anymore. I know you did the best you could. And I want you to go back further in time to perhaps when you were a teenager. Lots of good, juicy things back then that you could judge yourself for, blame yourself for. I want you to sit with that teenage self. I want you to imagine you as the wise, loving adult, putting your arm around that teenage part of you and say, I love you. It's okay. It's not your fault. They're just subconscious programs. You couldn't help it. And I'm so sorry for judging you so harshly all these years. Please forgive me. And I want you to keep going back, all the way back to your 2-year-old self. Imagine that 2-year-old self running around the house, laughing and giggling, being chased by daddy or mommy. And imagine yourself chasing that 2-year-old you, hearing yourself giggling and laughing, full of joy and life. And catch him, catch her. And imagine yourself lifting that innocent child up into your arms, holding it closely, and say, I love you. You are such a blessing in my life. I am so grateful, so very, very grateful to have you in my life. I want you to see the innocence in that child's eyes as they look up at you and say, I love you too. And I want you to see that innocence and know that it hasn't left. It's always been there within you. And as you go forward in your life, I want you to remember that. Carry that innocent child with you. Allow yourself to laugh a bit more, to giggle a little bit once in a while, to be okay with who you are just the way you are, and know that it's all good. It's okay. You are loved. You are love. You are perfect, whole, and complete just as you are. And you can love yourself for no good reason. And know that you are enough. And when you're ready, we'll come back and we'll sing the song that I forgot to mention we were supposed to sing before we went into the meditation. But we'll sing it now. So please join me in singing I Am Enough. And hold that innocent child in you. Hold yourself and know that this is true. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough.
I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. There is nothing that I need to say. There is nothing that I need to change. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am. There is nothing that I need to do. There is nothing that I need to prove. I am enough. I am enough. Enough. Just as I am. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. Just as I am.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob, for leading us into the truth of that song that Anthony wrote and bringing all these little children. Wow. I have a wonderful imagination, actually, and I can see all your little children and teenagers and young adults that have joined us here. And all those little kids out in the virtual community, I honor and salute every single one, every aspect of us that experience that programming. And now we are saying enough of that and on to the next truth. We are cultivating our version of spiritual truth here. So thank you for being a part of that this morning. And so here we have another song by Anthony Burbidge and the band. Let's see how this opens up our hearts and our minds.
I can hear a song within me, and I know that song is a memory of home. I can hear my spirit singing as I give the world my soul's true song. And I sing, I'm worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my song. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my song. I can feel the life within me, and I know my life was meant to be lived. As I feel the love come through me, I can see that love is my gift to give. Because I'm worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my love. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my love. If you don't open wide, let your brightest light shine, oh, then no one will know what you might have been. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy of your life. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy of your life. Sing with me, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my life. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my life. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my life. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my life. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy of my life.
Woo! All right. Okay, well, even if it's just a little bit, yes, if you've got some resistance to that, I'm thinking that song opened up the door a whole lot wider. Ah, wonderful. And now, this is a time where we enter into conscious giving. And knowing that time, talent, and financial treasure is required to allow this community to bring forth this message in person and out into the world, I am inviting us to enter into that time of gratitude for all the ways that people's time and talent allows us to create this community. There are a lot of people who are behind bringing this forth each week. And of course, in this world of third dimensionality, we do have also financial commitments. And so we know that when we feel into our own hearts and what is appropriate for us in each and every moment, and when we give, whatever that is, in the wholeness and fullness of the open heart, the flow of giving and receiving opens up in ways we can't even imagine. So I invite you to, whether you are giving a love offering in person here today and putting them in the baskets when the band is singing, whether you're choosing to give through e-transfers or through the donate button on our website, or sending in a check to our address, that you would find on our website. And if today you're not giving of treasure, but you're giving of your time of being here and being a part of this community, it's not about us just being here to present. It's about having people we're presenting to and with. So thank you so much for all the ways that you give and receive. So perhaps once again, if you've listened to this song that Anthony wrote, if you've listened to it 100 times, perhaps today is a day to listen to it with beginner's mind.
With an open heart.
With an open heart, yes.
I'm gonna give, give, give with an open heart. I'm gonna give, give, give with an open heart. I'm grateful for this moment. I am grateful for my life. And I trust that a higher power will always be there to provide. And that's why I give, give, give with an open heart. Yeah, that's why I give, give, give with an open heart. Well, I place my faith in the Spirit, and I welcome each and every day. And I let go of all my troubles and worries, and new abundance always comes my way. And that's why I give, give, give with an open heart. Yeah, that's why I give, give, give with an open heart. Oh, I'm gonna give, give, give with an open heart. Yeah, I'm gonna give, give, give with an open heart.
And thank you ever so much. Please join with me as we pass the blessing along. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
They did make me a stool when I was with the band some years ago, and I used to stand on it, but then I broke a foot, and then I broke a foot, and it was in casts, and was afraid I was going to fall off. So, I don't know, maybe putting this up and down, I was like, yeah, I need to be Inspector Gadget. Do you remember that? And they'd have the legs and the arms that would be helpful. Being 5 foot does have its challenges and its blessings. I am enough. That's right. Actually never made it to 5 feet without heels on, but I am enough. All right. And we had such the pleasure this morning of really bringing those inner children in, didn't we? And so each week we, as part of our blessing, our giving and receiving, we offer a blessing to the children that are in the room with us, the children in our lives, the children around the world, and this incredible gathering of inner children that are here today. So let's say with an open heart, our blessing for the children. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And here the blessings continue when we take this time to take a prayer pause, taking a quiet moment to bring our awareness to people, to situations that we are choosing to hold in the power of prayer, to hold the truth that each of us is beyond the circumstance. And while we recognize the circumstances of life can be challenging, we know the true divine nature of everyone involved, and we know the one power and one presence that is holding each circumstance. So let's take a moment of silence to hold our prayer in our hearts and our minds. And if you would like to make a prayer request to the prayer team, if you're in person here, you can put your prayer requests in the prayer box. You can make a prayer request to the Unity prayer line, prayer@unityofcalgary.org. You can do that on our website. And these prayers are held in prayer by our prayer team here for 30 days, and I send them down to Silent Unity for 30 days as well. And please remember that you can access Silent Unity prayer line 24 hours a day by online on their request form. And they used to have a 24/7 phone prayer request, but at this time, with the constrictions that are happening around the mandates, they do have restricted times. You would see that on their website if you go to Silent Unity. Just look that up and it'll take you to their prayer request for 24 hours. You can also 1-800-NOW-PRAY, or you'll see the other number, 1-800-669-7729. And know that as soon as you make that commitment to put your prayer request into the power of prayer, we do believe here that the divine field knows your prayer request. And please know that I only send down the first names. So it's not, if you make a prayer request, I'm the only one that reads the prayer requests that are on the papers, and I hold that for you, and only the names are passed along to the prayer team or to Unity, because we do believe our high self knows, spirit knows exactly what those prayer requests are. And we also take time to hold other Unity communities across the country in love, knowing that as they receive the support that they require in all the ways that that's required, they can continue to be a part of bringing forth this message into the world. So this month we are holding Unity Comox Valley and Unity of Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. We see them having the love and support that they do require to bring this forth into the world, to bring this message forth into the world. And so in this whole container of prayer, as focused or as broad as it is, let's bring all of that as we affirm the prayer of protection out loud together. The light that is God surrounds me. I am the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am the love. The power that is God protects me. I am the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well, and so it is. Amen. All right, so let's stand and enjoy singing together our song, Light in This World.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. Oh, I shine, oh, I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, oh we shine, yes we shine so bright. And we shine, oh we shine, yes we shine so bright. And we shine, yes we shine, we shine so bright. And we shine, oh we shine,
And we shine
and we shine
so bright.
we We shine,
we shine,
we shine,
we shine,
we shine,
we shine.
shine.
Woohoo! Wonderful. Enjoy your amazing week shining your light into the world, knowing that you are enough, looking in the mirror in the morning and saying, I love you and I'm worthy and I'm enough, and all those wonderful things you're going to say. And we are going to create, if you want to go out to create a circle or stay where you are, we're going to sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we are going to pulse that out in waves to the rest of the world. Many blessings, my friends.
I'm late.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, oh I shine so bright. I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, oh you shine, yes you shine so bright. Oh you shine, yes you shine, oh you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, yes we shine, oh we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, yes we shine, oh we shine so bright. Yes we shine, oh we shine, oh we shine so bright. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.
Okay. Still hot.